Well, hello everybody. Welcome to opening day. Tabby is trying to figure out where she wants to be so I can get started here. Hopefully she'll move out of the way and we can get down to business here for the opening game of the 2025 season for the Colorado Rockies. And what I've got here, not sure if it's better to do it that way. I think it goes off the, yeah, there's too much. Can't do it that way. I gotta do it this way. All right, so what I have provided here is the bench and bullpens for both teams, so you know who's available off the bench and who's available out of the bullpen. So if I don't use somebody, it was because they weren't on the roster. Went through the lineups or the roster of Colorado yesterday. For those of you that are not familiar with Tampa Bay, their starting pitcher is Ryan Pepiot. That's how it's pronounced, Pepiot. And he was 11-12 with a 3.86 ERA. He'll be opposed by Kyle Freeland. Kyle Freeland, 5-17 with a 4.98 ERA. Look at the lineup for Tampa Bay. We have Curtis Mead. He will lead off at first base. We have where'd he go? Josh Lowe is the designated hitter. We have Brandon Lau, so a difference between Lowe and Lau there. He hits third. Caminero, that's cleanup. Christopher Morel, the left fielder, will hit fifth. Danny Jansen, the catcher, will hit sixth. Wait, I got Lowe listed twice here. Hold on. I think something got screwed up here. I wonder why my cards didn't line up right. Something got messed up when I was copying this early. I think this should not be low here. So let me double check the lineup here. Tell you what, we start a scary replay and it starts out, messed up. So kind of typical for the Colorado Rockies, wouldn't you say? So let me go to the box score. Well, actually, let's go to I got it up on the Action PC computer. So let me see who they have as the lineup. And now the Action PC computer conked out on me. So I'll have to go back to what I had, which was Retro Sheet, to get the actual lineup here. All right. March the 28th is the date. Let's make sure we have the correct lineup for Tampa Bay. It is actually Yandy Diaz, the DH. All right, so let's redo the lineups for you for the Tampa Bay Rays. Leading off will be Curtis Mead, followed by Yandy Diaz, the DH. Brandon Lau is going to be second baseman. He hits third. Junior Caminero bats cleanup, and he's the third baseman. Christopher Morel is in left field. He hits fifth. Danny Jansen hits sixth. Josh Lowe in right hits seventh. Johnny DeLuca, the catcher, hits eighth. And Taylor Walls, the shortstop, bats ninth. So I think now we finally got it right. Now Tabby wants to come back. She can't decide what she wants to do. So I'm not sure what to do with this Tabby. She just wants to hopefully she'll just lay down. But she's behind here now, so hopefully she's out of the way. Hopefully she stays that way. We will find out. You can see her paw right here on the little lineup sheet that I have. All right. So we're going to get this game going. I think everything is visible as far as I can tell. Ryan Pepiot is going to step in. He's got a 6 wild pitch and a 0 balk. Hey, you saw that. Tabby just grabbed my hand and bit me, or tried to bite me. Tabby, no, get down from there. I'm not going to act like that. I don't know what got in. I don't know if the heat got to her or what. I'm not going to have that around here. All right. Let's get back to, we're just having all kinds of problems starting this thing out. Okay. I think we're now officially ready to go. Hopefully. We got Brenton Doyle, center fielder, leading it off for the Rockies. On the 2025 season, he hit .233. Let's see what he can do. We're underway. 5-4. That's a ground ball third base X right off the bat. And that's going to be Caminero. He's a 3E20. So we go to our defensive chart. 3E20 for third baseman. A 3 has to have a 5 or higher to get to this. And it's an 8, so he will. But the E20 for third baseman, he's got to avoid 11, 14, and 15. Those are the 3 numbers to avoid. And he does, so he will throw Doyle out. 1 away. And that will bring up Ezekiel Tovar, the shortstop, right-handed hitter. That's a 2-3, and that is a ground ball. I'm sorry, 2-3 is a fly ball to right field. 2 down. And that'll bring up Ryan McMahon, third baseman. Ryan McMahon, 5'7", lefty, struck him out. First strikeout for Pepio. And the Rockies go meekly here in the first inning. We go to the bottom of the first. Colorado nothing. Tampa Bay coming to bat. And on the mound is left-hander Kyle Freeland. Again, 5-17 with a .498 earned run average. And he'll be facing first baseman Curtis Mead. A lot of these guys I have not heard of before. Curtis Mead, 2-6 against the lefty. That's a ground ball back to Freeland. 1 away. That brings up the designated hitter, Yandy Diaz. Yandy Diaz. Get a 4-9, and that's going to be a solid hit. First hit of the season for either team. Yandy Diaz, no threat to run, but it does bring up the havoc roll. Nothing going on. Here's Brandon Lau. And it's interesting, they're spelled the same, but his name is pronounced Lau, and his name is pronounced Low. Why the difference? I don't know. 6'10", lefty. That's a fly ball to center field. And Doyle is there. And I finally realized why Doyle didn't win the Gold Glove in 2025 the way he won it in 23 and 24. And it's 3 words for him, Pete Crow Armstrong. He's the one that won the Gold Glove, and rightfully so for the Cubs. Here's Junior Caminero. 3-6 against the lefty. That's a strikeout. First strikeout for Freeland. How about that? A scoreless inning. So used to scoring this game as I play it, but I'm not doing it today, so good sign. We're at Steinbrenner Field, the AAA. I guess that's where the Yankee farm teams played their games, but with Tropicana Field being under repair, I guess because of the hurricane or whatever, they played at Steinbrenner Field. Singles are 1-6 for left, 1-15 for right. Home runs 1-10 for left, 1-13 for right. Supposedly, that field is exact dimensions of Yankee Stadium. That's what I was told on the broadcast. So, anyway, we have Chris Bryant up, and he's not carded, so we're using a nameless player for Chris Bryant because he does not have a card. He only had 36 at-bats. But this card kind of mimics the pitifulness that is Chris Bryant. 1-2, and that's a Lomax. 1 away. And that will bring up Michael Toglia, first baseman, switch hitter. 3-6 for Toglia. He strikes out. Strikeout number 2 for Pepio. And here's Hunter Goodman, the catcher. 5-8, and he strikes out. Strikeout number 3 for Pepio. And the Rockies go quietly here in the top of the second. Go to the bottom of the second, no score. And left fielder Christopher Morel will step up, followed by Jansen and Lowe. 1-6 against the lefty. He strikes out. Morel is out of there. Here's Danny Jansen, catcher. 5-11. And that's a ballpark blast. A 1-13, and we got our first run of the game. He does have normal power. So 1-13, it's gone. And it's right on the number. It is gone. Home run, Danny Jansen. Danny Jansen, the home run. Not known for his, well, he had 11 home runs and 221 at-bats, so I think that's pretty good, actually. Look at his numbers. He has a slugging percentage of .389, so I guess I shouldn't be too surprised by that. But it's 1-0 Rays, and here is Josh Lowe. 5'11", lefty. That's a ballpark single check. 1-6 for the left-hander low. And that's a 1, so he's going to find his way on with a base hit. And he's got a chance to see what he can do. It is a -3 hole combined between Freeland and Goodman. But if he gets the lead, it's going to still be a 1 to 14, which is not bad. So he's going to try for the lead. He needs a 4, 5, or 6. Doesn't get it, so he'll hold. And here's Johnny DeLuca, the catcher. 2-5, and that's a straight-out triple. I've never seen a guy. Look at this. He's got triples all on his column 2. How many triples this guy hit? He hit 3 triples in 57 at-bats. How about that? So that's why. And a catcher, no less, that runs as a 16. Oh, I'm sorry, he's a center fielder. I'm thinking he's a catcher. I don't know why I think he's a catcher. He's center fielder. So a triple, straight-out triple. You can see it again, 2-5, straight-out triple. And it's 2-0 Tampa Bay. Never seen anybody with so many triples on their card. But an RBI triple, now the infield's going to come in for Colorado to try to choke a future runoff for the number 9 hitter, Taylor Walls. Yes, I'm doing everything 2025, the 3-batter rule, the ghost runner, the whole 9 yards. I'm playing it as they played it in 2025. Here's Taylor Walls. Infield is in. 2-7. Doesn't matter if they're in or not. That's a single. And it's now 3-0 Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay leads at 3-0. Now Walls will look to possibly get a lead here. That's a 2, though. It's possible balk on Freeland, but he's a 0 balk, but it means Walls cannot establish a good lead. Now here's Curtis Mead. That's a 4-7, and that's a strikeout. So Freeland not having trouble at the top of the lineup. It's the bottom 4 in the lineup he's having problems with. 2 outs now for Yandy Diaz. 3-0 Rays here in the second. 6-7. That's a ground ball second base X. And that'll be second baseman Farmer. But he's going to be a 4 E5 because he's responsible for holding Walls. So he is now a 4 E5. 4 and a 5. And that's going to get through for a hit. 4 and a 5 is a an SI1. So it's a 1-base single. And then the error chances on Farmer are E5, which aren't very good. So he's 16 or 18, just has to avoid those, and he does. But it's a base hit, 1 star, and the inning continues. And that brings up Brandon Lau, lefty on lefty matchup. First and second, 2 outs, clutch situation. He does lose a couple hits here in the clutch on 3-9 and 3-10. 4-2, however, is a walk, and that will load the bases. That is the first walk issued by Freeland. Bases are now loaded with 2 outs. And the 9th man to bat in the inning, Junior Caminero, will be the batter. Junior Caminero, 210, and that is a ballpark blast. This could be a grand salami. Home runs are 1 to 13. And it's a 15. He flies to left, and it keeps Freeland in the game. That could have been 7-0 real quick, but as it is, they get 3 runs and send 9 to the plate. And only a stiff breeze out in left field kept that from going out of here. We go to the bottom of or top of the third. It's 3-0 in favor of the Tampa Bay Rays. Hey, Rick, I just something I felt like doing. With the 2025 set, I didn't want to do anything like a demolition league because that's too many games to worry about. Here, I'm just focusing on one team, and I'm only playing the first 59 games. So, because that's when they were 9, and I'm going to try to mimic or see how close I can come to that 9-50 record that they started with. Here's Nick Martini. Maybe a little bit of masochism where I want to play a bad team and see if I can get them to do something. Here is Martini. That's a 6-10. 6-10, 1-2 is a triple. Anything else, he flies to right. That's a fly to right for out number 1. Tabby's got me a lot of sorts here. Forgot plug in my computer. I don't want the power going out, the battery dying on my computer in the middle of a stream. That would be kind of embarrassing. So let's get that plugged in real quick before something happens. There, now we're back in business. Okay, so Martini flies to right, one away for Kyle Farmer. That's a 5-9, and that is an in-home run chance. And he's got weak power. So against right-handers, it will only be a single on a 1-18. And it's a 2, so it's going to be a single. First hit of the game for the Rockies. Could have been a home run, but he had weak power. Brings up the 9th man in the order, Jordan Beck, left fielder. That's a 2-7. Just a righty, struck him out. Strikeout number 4 for Jordan Beck. That'll bring up Brenton Doyle. 2-9, and that is a strikeout there. So strikeout number 5. And Pepio has 3 solid innings of pitching and a 3-0 lead to work with. Freeland back out, and he'll be facing Christopher Morel. Start this bottom of the third. 5-12, and it's ground ball third base X. We're looking at McMahon. He's a 1, so we know he's going to get to it. It's just an E10 we're worried about. And on an E10, 13, 17, and 18. Those are the numbers to worry about, 13, 17, and 18. And that is a 15, so he's okay. He will make the play. 1 away for Danny Jansen. 5-5, right-handed, ground ball to short. Tovar makes the play, 2 down. And here's Josh Lowe. 3-6, lefty, struck him out. So a nice inning, nice comeback inning for Freeland. He gets his 4th strikeout. At the end of 3, we're tied at 3. I'm sorry, it's 3-0 Tampa after 3. I don't know why I said tied at 3. That was kind of weird. Let me look at the score of the real game. Oh, I forgot to write that in. It was actually a close game, 3-2. And Tampa Bay actually won it in the bottom of the 9th. Walk-off home run. So don't think we're going to have that problem today, where it's going to be that close, but you never know. There's still 6 innings to go. Pepio facing Tovar, McMahon, and Bryant. We get a 6-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. We're looking at Brandon Lau. He's a 3-11, 3-12. He'll get to that. E11 at second base. He's got to avoid 15, 17, and 18. And that is a 17, so he will make an error. Look at Lau. He's an E11, and the 17 is right there for a 1-base error. E4 on Brandon Lau. E4. Tovar could try for a lead, but he's a -2 on the hold for the pitcher, and you're already down 3, so he won't go anywhere. He will be held, but he won't go anywhere. And here's Ryan McMahon. That's a 4-5, and he struck him out. Strikeout number 6. I said it in my team preview that this team does strike out a lot. I did notice that. Here's Chris Bryant, the uncarded Chris Bryant, using the nameless player that matches his statistics the closest. 6-6, we're under Pepio. It's a fly to center. 2 down. Brings up Michael Tolio, first baseman. Tovar still at first with 2 outs for Tolio. 5-10. 5-10's a catcher X. Catcher is going to be Jansen. He's a 3. 3 and a 4, so this could possibly be a pass ball of some sort. Check it out. 3 and a 4 is a possible wild pitch. Let's see about the error chance. He is a E3, and that is a E3 and a 14. There is no 14 there. The 3 was a W/G. So it says with runners on, the pitcher trips. Oh, that's rare play. Sorry. With no runners on, the pitcher uncorks a wild pitch. So it will be a wild pitch. Charge to Pepio. because Jansen couldn't block it. So runner in scoring position, that turns this at bat into a clutch at bat. Tolio, however, is completely neutral in this clutch situation. But he has a chance to drive in the first run of the game for the Rockies. 2-7, and he walks, so he will pass the baton to Hunter Goodman, one of their better hitters. Hunter Goodman, I believe I was told he won the Silver Slugger as a catcher. He had 31 home runs and 200 in a 278 average. So if you want somebody up with guys on base, here's your guy if you're the Rockies. It is a clutch situation, and again, for him, he only loses a hit on 311. That's the only one. Every place else, he is neutral. That's a 3-7, and he's going to ground it to third to end the inning, and they leave 2 runners on. And that's it for the Rockies. They had their chance there and couldn't come through. They still trail it 3-0. Here's Johnny DeLuca. He tripled his first time up. Of course, ball was tripled on his card. 4-12. That's a ground ball pitcher X. He's a 2E35 is Freeland. 2 with an E35. The 2 and the 3. Boy, he's going to barely get to that, but the E35 is problematic. All these error chances, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, and 18. Got to hope for a 13, I guess. Got an 11, and he is an E35. So that is an error, 1 base error on Freeland. E1. That puts DeLuca on, and DeLuca's looking to get a lead. Needs a 4 or a 5. Doesn't get it, he'll hold. Brings up Taylor Walls. Hello, Brown. Taylor Walls, the shortstop. He is 1 for 1 with a single. 2-8 against the lefty. Pops him up to short. All these hits in column 2, and he found the 2-8, which popped him up to Tovar, 1 away. Back to the top of the order, and Curtis Mead. Freeland's done well against the top of the order. It's the bottom of the order that's giving him problems. 6-10. That's a ballpark single check. 1-15 will be a base hit. That's a 16, so we got a break. Definitely got a break on that. No question about it. He did get a break. So it was a 6-10, so I'm going to keep the original fly to left. Or 2 down. And Yandy Diaz, designated hitter. He is 2 for 2. 4-11. That's a ballpark single check. Again, 1-15. This time he finds the number he needs. He's 3 for 3. And now a clutch situation for Brandon Lau. Lefty-lefty matchup. Lau in the clutch loses those 2 hits on 3-9 and 3-10. That's a 1-6. He's going to strike out to end the inning. So Freeland battles back and stays in the game without giving up any more runs, to his credit. We go to the 5th. Okay, I think we're back now. I think the Belinda Carlisle concert is over with. Hopefully. Thank you, YouTube/Xfinity, whichever was the culprit. And we're going to start before we're so rudely interrupted, we're going to start the top of the 5th. Nick Martini. 2-9 for Martini. That's a 1-5 double. 6-20 is a single. That is a single for Martini. And anytime I run into problems like that, know that I am, even though it's offline for a couple minutes, I am behind the scenes trying to fix it. So looks like I'm having a little bit of trouble with the internet. I think it's more the YouTube than it is the internet, because my phone is showing fine with the internet, and so is my computer. I think it's the app from YouTube that's causing this, if I had to guess. All right, so Kyle Farmer is your batter. Still a little iffy on the stream. I'm looking at it now. It looks kind of choppy. Hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully it'll start up and be normal again soon, we would hope. All right, so Farmer is the batter. Martini not being held on. That's a 1-12, and that's going to be a fly to left. 1 away. That's all part of the Rockies horror picture or Rockies horror baseball show. Is you get these kind of things going on. Here's Jordan Beck. You get kitty interruptions. You get internet interruptions. You never know what you might get. 3-5 for Beck. He strikes out. That is the 7th strikeout for Pepio. And takes us back to the top of the order for Brenton Doyle. Not Brendan Doyle, but Brenton Doyle. Cool. Don't forget, if you want the extra players, Scott, to get 75% off, they give you a code and free shipping. I got my extra players. I'm very happy about it. 300 and some extra players to add to your collection. Here's Doyle, 3-5, and that's going to be a strikeout for Doyle. Strikeout number 8 for Pepio. He is going 5 solid and looking to go at least 6. Freeland also has fatigue of 6. And here's Junior Caminero. Stuff still looks choppy. This is why sometimes I prefer to record stuff, because I run into, particularly this time of the day, usually early in the morning or late at night, it's not too bad. But when you're right here in the middle of the afternoon, and the only reason I'm doing this time today is because Spokane Steve is not streaming. And I figured now would be a good time to try to do it this time of the day to be different and maybe give people a chance to watch a live stream that wouldn't normally get the chance to watch it. So here's Junior Caminero. 4-7 against the lefty. Struck him out. Strikeout number 6 for Freeland. Brings up Christopher Morel. That's a 6-5, and that is a ground ball shortstop X. We are looking at, I think he'll be okay with that. 2 and a 5 is a G3. He'll get to it. And he is an E16, so it's short. He's got to avoid 14 and 17. Those are the 2 numbers to miss, which he does easily, and that's going to be a good play for Tovar. 2 up, 2 down. Yes, I do. I make this myself in Excel. Very easy to do. All right, here is Jansen. 6-9. Fly ball to right, and that's going to end the inning. And I'm using the Action PC computer game to give me this information. That's telling me who's on the roster at this particular time. All right, so we go to the top of the 6th. This will be the fatigue inning for Pepio. And he'll be facing Tovar, McMahon, and Bryant. 2 up for the Rockies. That is a 6-10 against the righty. That's a ballpark single check. 1-15 for Tovar to get himself a base hit. And he does. So Tovar gets his first hit of the season. Again, he could try to run, but they're down 3-0, so they don't want to run themselves out of an inning. He will be held on, but he won't go anywhere. Here's McMahon. He has struck out twice. That's a 1-7. This time he's going to draw a base on balls. So 1 more base runner, and Pepio will be fatigued. Brings up Chris Bryant. And now we look at the Rockies. I'm going to try to model who they used real world in this first game just for the heck of it. So we got Montgomery. There's a guy named Biggie, but he's not carded. I got him on here, but he's not carded. So I'm going to bypass him. Montgomery and Fairbanks are 2 other ones they've listed. So let's see about possibly Montgomery. Mason Montgomery, he is a left-hander. He's one of the 2 left-handers in the bullpen. So Mason Montgomery is loosening in the bullpen for Tampa Bay. He is one of their 2 lefties. So Chris Bryant is your batter, though. First and second, nobody out. That's a 2. Chance for balk or pass ball. Chance for a pass ball. And the pass ball rating on Jansen to get his pass ball rating. Danny Jansen's pass ball rating is a 0, so he cannot make a pass ball or cannot commit a pass ball. And that'll bring up Bryant. 3-5 for Bryant. He flies it to center field, 1 away. And that'll bring up Michael Tolia. Tolia walking a strikeout. 210, and that is a ground ball second base A. That's going to be a 4-6-3 double play, tailor-made. And even in this replay, Giovanni's Tailor Shop will sponsor the tailor-made double play of the game. And there it is on the 210, that second base A. The plus isn't irrelevant. Plus is irrelevant because we're not holding any runners on. The infield's not in. So it's going to be a 4-6-3 double play. Giovanni's Tailor Shop sponsors the Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play of the game. Giovanni's Tailor Shop in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. If you have tailoring needs or you're in the area, go by and see them. Tell them Demo sent you. They'll give you a discount. They are the unofficial sponsor of the channel, but the official sponsor of the Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play of the game. All right, here's Josh Lowe. This is the fatigue inning for Freeland as well. 2-2, and that's a split. 1-4 is a single. That's a 12, so he's going to line it to second base. Snagged by Farmer, one away. And actually, Freeland's pitched pretty well, all things considered. He had that hiccup here in the second inning, but other than that, he's done very, very well. Whoa, white die didn't go through. Let's try that again. There we go, 2-6. And another triple for DeLuca. He did it again, another triple. Now the infield's going to have to come in for Taylor Walls. And now the Rocky bullpen is starting to stir. Let's look at who they have in their bullpen. You can see the bullpen arms here. Let me see who they used real world. They used Kinley, Chevy, and Vodnik. So we're looking at Kinley. We're going to start with him. Tyler Kinley is loosening in the bullpen for the Rockies. Tyler Kinley. Right now, infield is in, and Taylor Walls is your batter. That's a 1. Wild pitch chance on Freeland is a 2. And no wild pitch. Here's Taylor Walls. 3-11. That's a foul out to the first baseman, Tolia. Big out there, 2 down. And now it's a clutch situation for Curtis Mead. Curtis Mead in the clutch will gain a hit on 3-12. He is 0 for 3 in the game. 1-6, and he grounds it to short to end the inning. So Freeland pitches around the triple, and I think that's going to be it for Freeland. Freeland's going to go 6 innings, and we'll count up how many hits he gave up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got him for 8 hits, 3 runs. They were earned. He walked just the 1, and he struck out 6. And Tyler Kinley will be the new pitcher in the 7th for the Rockies. He's a +6 hole, so that's not good. And Pepio, it's opening day, so Pepio is going to be capped at 6 innings as well. Just trying to be realistic. They're not going to extend these guys on opening day that far. Pepio and Freeland both pitched 6 innings real world, so good time to make the bullpen change. And Mason Montgomery will be the new pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays. He's a +8 hold. That's horrible. So Pepio, 6 innings pitched, no runs, obviously. That's the big part. How many hits did he give up? Not that many. 1, 2, just 3 hits. He did walk 2, and he struck out 8. And, of course, he's in line to get the win. So we're going to bring in Montgomery, and then we're going to have Kinley in the bottom half of the inning. So they are used up. So Mason Montgomery will be the new pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays. Mason Montgomery, 1-3 with a .567 earned run average for Mason Montgomery. He did have 1 save, but he's not going to go all 3 innings to get a save here, that's for sure. Yes, Brown, I realize that, yes. All right, Hunter Goodman is your batter. 5-3, and that is a ground ball first base X. We're looking at Mead. He's a 4E8. That's a little troublesome with that 4 range. 419, though, he gets to it no problem. Now the E8. He's got to avoid 3, 6, and then 15 through 18. 3, 6, and then 15 through 18. That's a 15. That'll be an error on Mr. Mead. Look at the E8 again at first base. And a 15 is sitting right there. So Mead, E3 on Mead. That is the second error on the Tampa Bay Rays. And that'll send us to Nick Martini. Now, he is a right-hander. So they could, I'm sorry, he's a left-hander. So with the Rays bringing in a left-hander, they could go to the bench. They've got Sean Bouchard. He's not very good. Tyler Freeman is really good. So they're going to bring in Tyler Freeman to hit for Martini. And Freeman will stay in the game to play right field. So Freeman will be your new right fielder. He will pinch hit, Tyler Freeman will, here in the 7th and play right field in the 7th. Tyler Freeman. So Freeman it is. Freeman hit 281 with 2 home runs, but the 281 is the more important part. You want some guys that can get on base. Montgomery does have to face 3 batters. That's I'm playing by the the rules of the game as it is in 2025 because that's what this season is. So I'm playing it as it lies. So he does have to face 3 batters. Here's Tyler Freeman. 5-5 against the righty. That's a ground ball shortstop X. Ground ball shortstop X. Shortstop is Walls. He's a 1E10. 1 and a 12 might be a G1. 1 and a 12 is a G1. Possible double play coming up. He's an E10 at short, which means he has to avoid 16, 17, and 18, and the 3. That's a 15. He barely avoids it, but he does make the tailor-made second time around, second inning in a row that the Rockies have hit into a double play, another tailor-made double play. This one's 6-4-3 versus 4-6-3. 2 quick outs, and here is Kyle Farmer. 3-9 for Farmer. And that's a single against the lefty. 2-out single brings up Jordan Beck. 5-5, and that is another ground ball shortstop X. So again, we're looking at Walls. Don't need to roll the D20 because we're not trying for a double play. We're just trying to get an out. If you're the Rays, he can go either any out he can get. And again, on the E10, it's short. He just has to avoid 3, 16, 17, and 18, which he does. So we'll just say he throws it to first to end the inning. So Montgomery does his job. He's a 1-inning guy. Most relievers in this particular season were 1-inning guys. So he goes 1 inning, gives up a hit, nothing else, and they'll get a new pitcher in the top of the 8th. Right now, the Rockies are going to bring in a new pitcher for them, and that is Tyler Kinley. He will later get traded to Atlanta, but right now he is with the Rockies and combined, but most of this is with Colorado. 6-3, 396, and 3 saves. So Tyler Kinley is going to be on, and he'll be facing Yandy Diaz, Brandon Lau, and Caminero for the Rays here in the bottom of the 7th of a 3-0 ball game. Hello, Jason. Good to see you. That's a 3-3. Righty-righty. It's a ground ball to second. 1 away. And that sends up Brandon Lau. 5-10 lefty is a ground ball shortstop X. That's Tovar. He's a 2. 2-9. He'll get to it. Shortstop, he is an E16. He's got to avoid 14 and 17. And he does that easily. 2 down. 2 up, 2 down for Junior Caminero. 3-11 for Caminero. That's a solid single. 2-out single for Caminero. And he's got an asterisk. And with the +5 hold, he's going to try for that lead. Needs a 5. Doesn't get it, he'll hold because that secondary lead is way too low to try to steal. So he'll be on with 2 outs for Christopher Morel. That's a 2-3, and that is a strikeout. And so 1 inning pitch for Kenley, and he gives up a hit and gets a strikeout, no runs. So we go to the 8th, and we'll figure out who's going to be the new pitcher for the Rays. See who's got coming up for the Rockies. It is going to be Doyle, top of the order, Doyle, Tovar, McMahon, 2 righties and a lefty. So I'm guessing we will go with a righty out of the bullpen. And I think I said they use Fairbanks. Yeah. So Fairbanks will be coming on. Pete Fairbanks. He pitched in this game real world. Pete Fairbanks. Don't know if he's their closer or not. Yeah, he is. 27 saves. You know what? I guess I ought to save him for the end. So let's do this. Let's not do Fairbanks, because I don't think that's realistic. We want to save him for the 9th. So we'll find somebody else to try to pitch that 8th inning. Let's see who else they can go to. Right-hander. Who do they like? Well, Manuel Rodriguez is a pretty good pitcher. Manuel Rodriguez, 1-2 with a 2.08 ERA, so I think he fits the bill pretty nicely. So Rodriguez it is, and they will go to Fairbanks in the 9th. But Rodriguez is going to come on. He is a +8 hold, which is not good, obviously. But they're leading 3-0, and if he can keep guys off base, it doesn't matter about the hold. So Brenton Doyle will be facing off against Manuel Rodriguez. Doyle, leadoff hitter, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks, 3-5, and that's another strikeout. He's got the hat trick. Does Brenton Doyle. Here is Tovar, 3-4, and that's a ground ball to short. Easy play for shortstop Walls. 2 down for Ryan McMahon. 5-6, and that's a strikeout there. So, boy, Rodriguez, he was on his game there. 2 strikeouts, nothing else. They'll bring in Fairbanks for the save unless they score more runs. Then they can save him for another game. But if they score another run and take it out of a save situation, they'll go to somebody else. Rockies will need a new pitcher. And coming up, it's Jansen, Lowe, and DeLuca, mostly right-handed. So we're looking at, well, he pitched, I think, in this game, didn't he? Yeah, Victor Vodnik. So Victor Vodnik is in. Vodnik had 10 saves. He was 4-3 with a 3.02 ERA and 10 saves. Victor Vodnik. Vodnik is a -4 on the hole, makes him a -3. So it'll be Vodnik taking on Jansen, Lowe, and DeLuca. So Victor Vodnik. Victor Vodnik. Back this up just a hair. There we go. Victor Vodnik. 6-7 for Vodnik, and he issues a walk to Jansen. That's not good. Jansen is aboard. Jansen very, very slow, but he's a good defensive catcher, so they're not going to sub for him. Here's Josh Lowe. That's a 2-4, and that's a ballpark single check for a left-hander, 1-6. That's a 9, so will not be that. He will line it to second base. 1 out, and that's going to break us to Johnny DeLuca. He has 2 triples in the game. That's a 3-11, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-15. That's a 16, so that fails. And he will line it to short. 2 down. For the switch hitter, Taylor Walls. Vodnik trying to pitch a scoreless 8th. 5-6. Switch hitter batting left, actually, is a walk. That's the second walk issued by Vodnik. And now Meade is your batter. Clutch situation here. Vodnik needs to get out of this to keep the score close within reason. Clutch situation for Mead, and in the clutch he gains a hit on 312. 5-7. That's a 1-10 double. 11-20 he flies out. That's a 5. It'll be a double. That's some insurance coming in right now. Jansen will score. Walls runs as a 16, was not being held, makes him a 17. 2 outs makes him a 19. Doyle -3 for a 16. 1-16, he will score. And he does. 2-run double for Mead. And that just blew the game open. 5-0 Tampa Bay. And now here's Yandy Diaz. So Vodnik having his issues. 4-6, and that is a ground ball to third to end the inning. But a big 2 runs there, so we will not see Fairbanks because it's not a save situation. They will go to somebody else, will Tampa Bay. Vodnik, when his 1 inning, 2 walks is what really got him. They're the ones that scored those 2 walks. They only gave up 1 hit, but the 2 runs. And now Tampa Bay will go to their bullpen. And whoever they pick, obviously it's not a save situation, so they'll pick somebody. Probably will go with, I'm thinking Uceda, but I might go to somebody else. Edwin Uceda. We'll go with Edwin Uceda. Edwin Uceda was 10-3 with a 3.79 ERA and 1 save. So Edwin Uceda. He's a +3, +4, but 5-0. I don't think they're going to run. So Uceda will be facing Chris Bryant, Tolia, and Goodman. That's not whiteout. That's just a correction tape I got off of Amazon called LZER King or something. I don't know. It's cheap. It works. So here's Chris Bryant, and we bring in Uceda to pitch. 5-0 Tampa. 1-6, and that's a ground ball to first. That'll take care of Chris Bryant. 1 away for Tolia. So the Rockies, we were worried about their pitching, but it's been their hitting today that's really let them down. 111 for Tolia is a ground ball to second. They haven't really put up much of a threat. Nobody's even made it to third base yet. In fact, looks like they've only had 2 guys make it to second base the whole game. So here's Hunter Goodman. That's a 5-5, and that's a strikeout, and that's an appropriate way to end the ball game. Colorado Rockies get shut out. They did lose this game real world 3-2, but they lose this game 5-0. Uceda 1 inning pitched and a strikeout. So they could only muster 3 hits, no runs and 3 hits for the Rockies. They also, just for good measure, committed an error. Rays committed 2 errors, one by the second baseman, one by the first baseman. Pitcher spot, Freeland was the only one to make an error for the Rockies. For the Rays, they ended up getting 10 hits. So the Rockies start out 0-1, losing to the Rays by the score of 5-0 here at Steinbrenner Field. Player of the game, if you had to give it to somebody, I mean, Pepio is a good candidate, I guess, for the Rays. Also, DeLuca with his 2 triples, that's certainly, noteworthy as well. So pick your own favorite player of the game there. But anyway, that's going to do it from here. Game 2 will be tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to record it and do it later or what. Probably not going to have this again because I don't want to keep printing this over and over. So this was more of an opening day accoutrement thing, but going forward, we're not going to be having that. But for the Rockies, everybody's carded except for Chris Bryant, so I had to use the non-carded players or no-name players, nameless players. And for the Rays, the only one not carded is their relief pitcher, Biggie. So if I want to use him, I can go to the nameless players and pull somebody out from there as well. So there you go, 5-0 Rays. They defeat the Rockies. The Rockies start out now 0-1 on their way to 9-50. Now the Rockies did win Game 2 to make it 1-1, so we'll see if they can do that tomorrow. It'll be for the Rays. It'll be the right-handed pitcher. Drawing a blank on his name now off the top of my head. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his name. I should know his name. It will be, sad, I got to cheat. I had it memorized. It'll be Zach Littell on the mound for the Rays against Anthony Sensatella for the Rockies. That'll be Game 2. And then the final game of the series on Sunday will pit Taj Bradley, T-A-J Bradley. I think it's pronounced Taj Bradley for the Rays, and Ryan Feltner for the Rockies. And then after that, they'll go to Philadelphia for 3 before their home opener against the Athletics. But there you go from here. Have a great rest of your day, Brown. Same to you. And hope everybody else has extra players, free shipping, can't beat it. And they also sent me another email, Brown, and I should send one to you as well, where you can get 10% off and free shipping on a future order after you get the extra players. I'm thinking about ordering another season with the free shipping and 10% off. I haven't decided on it yet. I really don't need any more seasons, but there might be 1 or 2 out there that they have that I might want. That might be interesting. 1980 or 1985 maybe, or 1952. One of those 3 I might go for. I don't know. But that's it from here. Rockies fall by the score of 5-0 and look pretty bad doing it. So it might be a long, scary replay, but that's the whole point of the Rockies horror baseball show. And at least we didn't have Tim Curry and drag. That was the good part. I was never into the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I just remember it. I know it was a thing back in the day, but I never really was into that. I heard it was like a cult following, and I'm not part of that cult. But anyway, that's going to do it from here. Of course, tomorrow we will have roughly noon will be the NBC Game of the Week in Fall Classic, playing Fall Classic Baseball 1979. It'll be the California Angels visiting the Detroit Tigers in that one. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.